Welcome to Bruins Overtime Live, presented by buyatoyota.com with Billy and Barry from our Wasabi Studios at TD Garden. Guys, Bruins obviously made it exciting, made it interesting at the Garden, but ultimately their mistakes were exposed and it cost them the game.
Yeah, in the first two periods, their mistakes were. We'll get to that. I liked there's some rambunctiousness in the third period, some energy.
Yep.
They had effort. I mean, what, they ended up with 34 shots in this game. Shots are nice, but don't always tell the story. But I thought that they, developed more of what we are getting used to being Boston Bruin hockey in that third period. I don't think Johansson had to steal the game, but I thought he made some nice saves.
Yeah, I think the Bruins didn't start on time.
No.
This was one of those afternoon games. We talked about the matinee, how much fun it is, but they just weren't ready to play. Too many mistakes defensively, as Brick was talking about. And this would be one of those games that we would sit here after. We'd say, it would have been nice for your goalie to kind of try and steal you a game. But he didn't have a chance defensively.
Oh.
The team, the breakdowns were so outrageous that he was standing there by himself a lot of times on an island, right?
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to take you to the David Pasternak's save at the...
Well, we're going to go to the end here when the Bruins had a chance. And the goalie pulled. David Pastrnak is going to go and do his. Now, that is cheesy, right?
Yeah, that was right there.
Gilles Gilbert cheesy, all of them wrapped into one. And then a massive hit afterwards with 40 seconds remaining. The Bruins doing, when I say everything right, meaning everything in their power to keep the puck out of their own net, out of the empty net. I'm not sure what Kucherov was doing. I don't know why he didn't finish on that second one. But then the Bruins have this chance to bring it in. This is a really good look. A nice intentional puck off far pad by Arvidsson, and Geekie just can't pop it.
You win a faceoff, you got an opportunity, just misses the net. McAvoy there, and the Bruins, you can see they got the pressure, but good stick work. There's a hook, and this was a huge faceoff. What did you say he was on the faceoffs?
Anthony Cirelli, that was his fourth faceoff win of the night, and he had 20 losses.
Yeah, but he won a big one there.
Yeah, he won that big one at the end, and that was the difference. Again, chances in the third period. It was better in many ways, but the issues that they had in their first two periods came back to haunt them.
It did, and showing the Pastrnak save, and then to your point, Kucherov not really finishing things off.
Very
it kind of reminded me of the last game we showed the Buffalo, where we went, this doesn't feel good. When the empty net was going on, you had a couple of chances to end the game, and you didn't. You were worried, but hey, they won in there. They won the game, obviously, Tampa Bay, and as we had said before the game, they were going to be hungry. And you could see Coach Cooper, when things weren't going well during the game, you saw him.
This color.
Yeah, he got a little red. Redder than he normally is when he's tanned as so much. But, no, he's a great coach, and he got his team ready today.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear how, I know he's going to be happy with the win, but I'm going to be curious to hear, because in many ways I think he felt like my guess is they could have put that Bruins team away, and they never did, and they kept letting him back into the game. So I wonder where his happy factor will be.
Yeah, I'm sure he's happy with the 2 points, but probably wanted to keep it a 3-goal game, as they made it a couple of times during this one. But the Bruins almost got back there. Okay, let's dissect a little bit of the numbers here. Giveaways. The Bruins had less, but they had a big one that turned into a goal.
They had giveaways.
It was a takeaway.
Well, it was both.
Yeah,
it was both. They giveth and taketh. They did both in this game. High danger chances. Tampa with 5 more. I think that's pretty accurate. That's always subjective, I guess, depending on where you go. But the power play shots were distinctly in favor of the Bruins. They had a lot more power play ops than Tampa did. But the Bruins, again, did a decent job on their
Wouldn't you say the Bruins were just too charitable today?
In the first 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They were way too, we're going to get into it, instead of, no, we're into this game. And Tampa feasted on that.
Yep.
And that actually, like you said, the charity led to a couple goals by Anthony Cirelli here.
Yeah, he was a situation here early in the hockey game. The Bruins, McAvoy doesn't feel the pressure, and all of a sudden Tampa Bay turns this thing right over, and Cirelli comes in with a nice little feed there across, and he was solid all night long. He was really, that was the start of the game, right?
No question about it. So, the guy who picked the puck up there was Gensel, who did that, and he knows Charlie from USA Hockey. Here's the second goal. Bruins turn the puck over to the middle of the ice. It's Zadorov, and now everybody is discombobulated in their own zone, and then there's the shot from Anthony Cirelli. after the triangle is formed by the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, that, it's just too hard. You can make up just enough, but not with the quick puck movement of the Lightning. Again, that's a feastable moment by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Look at on the side of the net. He opens up the heel of the stick and he slices the puck top shelf.
2-hour Subaru star of the game brought to you by Subaru of New England. So it is Anthony Cirelli in his last 5 games versus Boston. Sorry, Billy, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I thought he was unbelievable in the first period. I actually thought Holmberg in the second period, he was outstanding and a big difference maker.
Hagel was really good defensively.
Hagel good as well, but then this guy comes through in the you could have picked 2 or 3 people. I kept thinking the Bruins were actually going to tie this.
Really?
I did. I was ready to pick a Bruin.
Really?
Yeah. In the third period, I kept thinking for sure.
I mean, they had their looks.
Yeah, but the highlights that we were showing and the breakdowns, to me, we didn't see much evidence the first 3 games of the season. This kind of reminded you defensively a little bit of last year, where the Bruins' defense got too spread out and Tampa Bay was ready to enable to fill those cracks.
All right, guys. In the second period, less than a minute in, Yanni Gourde gets it off of a turnover as well. I think am I taking you to the right place over here? Is this the second period? Yeah. All right. There we go.
Yeah. Now, and this is the situation here. Remember, after our first intermission, we said, okay, you need a good start. You're down 0-2. You need a good start. 39 seconds later, you turn the puck over. Yeah. And again, another layup that Korpisalo has no chance on.
Yeah, and so the puck's in deep, and then you just get a gorgeous play from Holmberg back to Yanni Gourde. But you're just not making it easy on yourself. And your D-man here is Peak chasing up the wall after he burped up the puck. And I understand it happens, but it can't happen like this early in the period. Again, you go back to I use the word discombobulated, disoriented, whatever you are. You're a mess, basically, is what ends up happening.
You're chasing.
You're chasing as soon as that one pass happens, and you say, we should be able to recover, but not when you're playing against a team like that that's going to show you the ability to move the puck like that.
And that is very hungry.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, guys, with some positives in this one, though. We had Mr. Harris up looking at our intermission report in our studio, and his son had an assist the other day, got his first as a Bruin.
Yeah, and this is a gorgeous play by David Pastrnak. It's a 2-on-1 with Harris. He's going to wait. He's going to look over his right shoulder to Zacha, but instead of going over to him, I love his demonstrative nature here. He gets it loaded, and he beats the goaltender, Johansson, on short side. And John Cooper is not happy with his defenseman, Eric Chernak, for the wall pinch and the misread. And it's a 2-on-1 the other way. There's a trigger where you can't, if you know that you've got another guy coming, if you're a D-man, you can't pinch there. And you can instead live for the 3-on-2 instead of the 2-on-1.
And especially realizing or not realizing that, you got a 4-1 lead.
Right.
That's what he's saying. What are you doing? And Charnak's one of those warriors that you and I really like over the years. He's a guy that you can count on. He's a big-time player, physical, intense. And he's been very, big parts of their championships, but he made a big mistake there.
All right, Morgan Geekie also getting on the board. You said he was practicing his one-timers in practice. Not quite a one-timer.
But Barry, he skates into it, so it's a quasi. It's not a clapper, a half clapper. This is just a one-time snapper, and I love the efficiency of this play, and it's drawn up perfectly and finished.
Yeah, Zacha wins that draw, and you see Geekie walk into it. Hedman's kind of standing in front of Johansson, and I'm sure he said, will you please move here? He just can't see it. Right there, it goes through him. But a great shot, and then you start to... you start to go, hey, you're only down 1 and lots of time left. You think that's going to be the opportunity. To me, one of the top Bruins today, too, was Zacha. I thought Zacha was pretty solid. That 200-foot game of him, he's very responsible, and he was good for them today. David
Pastrnak is due for a goal, but while he's waiting for one, he may as well be making some saves. If they had scored because of the save, this would have been the save of the game for sure. But unfortunately, the Bruins lose in regulation, 4-3, the final.
He's a lefty, so do you notice, he puts his stick as a lefty goalie would, meaning he catches with his right.
Yeah.
See how he after, this is the hit afterwards that he puts on Kucherov.
But didn't that save remind you of when we used to be in the basement? With the net, the tennis ball right there?
1,000,000%.
All right, guys, we'll be right back after this.